As Orr Group celebrates 30 years, we've been sitting down with leaders that we learn from and have been inspired by along the way for little chats to get their perspectives and share them with all of you. I'm excited today. I'm joined by Dr. Melissa Merrick, President and CEO of Prevent Child Abuse America, the nation's largest and oldest organization committed to preventing child abuse and neglect before it happens. So we're excited to have worked with Melissa over the course of parts of 2020, 2021. We helped sort of think through a fundraising strategy as they celebrate their 50th anniversary, and as Melissa sort of came in as CEO and with ambitions to scale the organization. We worked with Melissa and the executive team to sort of come to agreement and sort of crystallize some of the strategic priorities. And then we provided support to the development team just to sort of get everything off the ground as we got going. It was a real privilege to work with Melissa. Melissa comes with a little bit of a different background as sort of an expert in the field of child abuse and child neglect. And it was fascinating to sort of just watch you step into your role as a leader. And it was a privilege to be a part of. So thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
We'll just have a little bit of a chat. I'll ask a couple questions. We'll go from there. Why do you do this? How'd you get into this field, and then how'd you sort of come to PCA America, from the work that you were doing?
Yeah. Goodness, a big question. Thank you, Craig. I'm so happy to be connected to you and to chat with you today. I think the essence of my why is probably no different than a lot of ours, hope, a lot of hope for a brighter, healthier, more prosperous future for my children and my children's children, and really for all children. And, I came to this topic of child abuse and neglect as a young college student in Philadelphia, kind of bright-eyed, kind of naive, hoping to change the world. But I did a lot of volunteer work with foster children in Philadelphia. And I remember, some of my friends, they had other interests or other activities that they were pursuing. They would say, gosh, aren't you depressed, talking to kids that have been through so many challenges? And, how can you really want to spend your time doing this? And I actually felt the opposite. I felt very inspired. I saw so much hope and joy in these kids and resilience in these families. And maybe I didn't have the word resilience then, but I just really, that was the foundation for me to even be interested in how can we all partner to really help families, help, take off some of the load off of families so that their kids can grow up safe and thriving and healthy and happy and kind of reach their maximum potential. So really my whole career has been sort of dedicated to understanding the risk and protective factors of child abuse and neglect. And now, on this side, really trying to assure the conditions through partnerships for the prevention of child abuse and neglect. So I feel really fortunate to be able to do this work, and yes, have the science background from my time at CDC, and I'm a child psychologist by training, but really now in this role, really just setting the vision for the next, 50 years of this organization through partnerships of really just making an impact on the future. So that's really my why.
I haven't thought in terms of hope is sort of I think we're all in this for various sort of inspired reasons, but I think hope is a great way to sort of summarize that. I'm hopeful, and so I do this because I believe that things can be better. I like that. How have you seen sort of the sector and your part and your sort of field within the nonprofit sector sort of change over the course of your career?
Yeah, it's changed a whole lot. I think still too, the dominant narrative or the dominant thing that comes to mind when people hear child abuse and neglect, they go to treatment or early identification, trying to save children. And of course, that's always going to be part of the work. But really throughout the last, certainly the last 25 years of my career, really this moving toward more upstream prevention strategies, what are the supports that we can put into place before families find themselves in crisis. That has become much more part of the work. So, we think of that as primary prevention, again, setting the conditions so that people can be healthy and can thrive. And we've heard from our philanthropy partners that really those upstream prevention activities are what are the most impactful. Certainly that's what the science and the data show us. So we feel we're on to something. And again, having a prevention continuum is always going to be important. But again, setting the context for health and well-being through policy and through other kinds of, whole of society strategies is really exciting because we can see the most population level impacts when we do that.
I think in many ways, child abuse, neglect prevention has sort of been ahead of the field, because I think you're seeing all across the sector, across the nonprofit sector, you're seeing people come to this like we have to go upstream.
Yeah.
It's policy, it's government, it's collaboration. It's not just sort of single point solution anymore. And I think you all got there a little bit earlier than a lot of other people. So there's a lot to learn there. What do you think comes next? I mean, right. So for specifically, I guess for PCA America, right? Like, so you're at 50 years.
Yeah.
Where do you see the organization going?
Yeah, it's such an interesting time, like celebrating an anniversary like you all are at the Orr Group too. It gives you a lot of time to reflect on the really wonderful work that has like given you a strong foundation, but it really helps you think about what does the future look like, right? And I think it has to look like getting more partners involved in this work, right? Recognizing the strong evidence that shows that we all have a role to play in helping children reach their maximum health and life potential. I think, being alive even in this time, but being a parent during a global pandemic, during a time of acute racial and civil unrest, I think empathy and support is something that everybody has needed, not just those that experience child abuse and neglect. So I hope that, what we'll be able to do in the future is really help, families reduce some of those stressors. We're all overloaded, right? And all families need support. We just sometimes need a different kind of support than another family, right? But none of us are doing this alone. And really the evidence really shows that my children will do better if all children are doing better. So it's kind of an exciting time to think about, continuing that work. Like, what is business's role in this, work? What is media's role? These kind of newer partners, newer donors, right? Like, how can we invite them to be part of the prevention solution? I don't think we need to continue to raise awareness and commitment to the problem of child abuse and neglect, but to the prevention solutions.
I think that's a great point. And I do think there's anybody who has children, myself included, has thought a lot about how they parent and what that means to be a parent and how they collaborate with society and being a parent a lot more in the last 2 years than I ever have before. So I think you're right. It's a great time you're doing what you're doing. How did working with Orr Group sort of change or impact y'all's organization? It was a great experience for us. What was the experience for you?
Oh, goodness. It was a great, tremendous experience for us too, working with you and your team, just in how we can sort of even think bigger, about this work, like, and really how can we develop the right messages that are kind of at the right level for people who haven't spent their entire careers in this, topic, right? How do we kind of see what people's interests are and connect it to the fact that no matter what you're trying to achieve, if you have healthier children and healthier families, you can have, insert outcome here. So this, obviously helping us develop our fundraising strategy and our specific tools to be nimble and to make investments where they're going to matter the most for children and families, how to elevate, that prevention is possible and that we know what to do, to prevent child abuse and neglect if we all work together. These are some kind of tidbits that I've learned from you and just cultivated, and will always be so thankful for you coming into our lives of the organization at the time you did, again, as we sort of set our sights on the future.
Very much a pleasure for us. It's been an excellent experience. I'm happy to know you. I'm just delighted about the work that you all do, and I look forward to you having lots of success. And thanks for being with us today.
Oh, thank you so much, Craig.